Imagine two people with the exact same IQ right now, right? But do it 5 years later. One can solve problems in record time, learn with incredible skill, and make vastly better decisions, while the other is still standing in the same place I was. The question is, how did that happen if their IQs were identical? The truth few talk about is that intelligence isn't just a fixed number, it's a system that can be trained and developed or neglected and left stagnant for years. Everyone convinces us intelligence is a genetic gift, that you're either born smart or you're not. But what if that idea is incomplete? Albert Einstein was described as a late talker in childhood, and some teachers considered him a slow learner. Charles Darwin was an average student who showed little interest in traditional education. As for Thomas Edison, one of his teachers considered him unsuited for school beats before his mother took over teaching him at home. Yet, they became some of the most influential people in human history. So what changed? Their genes didn't change, and they didn't get new brains. What changed, simply put, is the way they used their minds. Today, neuroscience explains the reason, and the best part is that anyone can start applying these same principles. Habit 1. Deep thinking without input. Most people believe that intelligence grows by consuming more videos, more podcasts, more information. But neuroscience proves the opposite. Your brain becomes smarter when it is forced to think without any external input. This activates what is called the default mode network, which is the system responsible for abstract thinking, imagining intangible things, the ability to see things clearly, long-term thinking, and creativity. Einstein famously conducted thought experiments. He didn't always calculate numbers. He would imagine what would happen if he chased a beam of light, or what would happen if gravity bent space. He would walk alone for hours. No books, no notes, just pure thought. And modern studies show that people who regularly engage in undistracted thinking score higher in problem-solving, strategic thinking, and creative intelligence. So that it's 20. My advice: set aside time every day to think while walking. No phone, no podcasts, no music, without any input. At first you will feel bored, then uncomfortable, but after a while you will find inspiration coming to you. That discomfort you feel in the beginning is exactly the moment when intelligence grows. The second habit: productive struggle before seeking help. Smart people do not rush to find ready-made answers. Instead, they delay asking for help. Psychologists call this productive struggle. Your brain grows stronger when it tries, fails, and adapts, and tries again. Imam Ash-Shafi'i would read, then cover the page with his hand and attempt to recall what he read. If he struggled, he would push his memory before looking again. Before asking for the answer to your problem, write down your best concept of the solution. This process activates neural pathways that cannot be triggered by passive reception alone. My advice: before you ask for help, try to write down your best answer yourself, even if it is wrong. This effort is what builds your mental capabilities. The third habit: writing to think, not to record. Most people write to store information, but smart people write to clarify their thinking. Leonardo da Vinci did not write organized essays, rather he filled his notebooks with questions, drawings, and contradictions so his thoughts would remain alive. Writing forces your brain to slow down and discover gaps in your understanding, and research from Princeton and UCLA shows that handwriting improves your grasp of concepts far more than typing on a keyboard. Because writing makes your idea visible before your eyes. My advice: start a thinking journal. Do not write what you did today. Instead, write what you actually understand. What confuses me? What is the idea that seems incomplete in my mind? The fourth habit: building mental models. True intelligence is not in memorizing facts. Rather, it is in understanding the systems that govern the world. Early Munger used to call this a lattice of mental models. When you connect concepts from different fields such as physics, psychology, economics, and biology, your mind gains greater flexibility in dealing with different situations. That is why polymaths dominated history, such as Ibn Khaldun, Al-Biruni, Ibn Sina, and others. My advice: every week take one piece of information from a field far from your work or studies, break down the concept simply, and watch how you can apply it in your life. The fifth habit: deliberate memory training. Memory is not separate from intelligence, but essential to it. Nikola Tesla was able to visualize entire machines, rotate them mentally, and test them in his mind. Ancient scholars trained their memory intentionally because they understood that a sharper memory creates faster thinking. Techniques like active recall, spaced repetition, and visualization do not just store information, but reorganize neural networks. My advice: do not settle for just reading and reviewing, but close the book and try to explain the idea to yourself or others. This recall is the best exercise for your brain. The sixth habit: proper nutrition. The brain consumes 20% of the body's energy. The quality of fuel directly affects the processing power. Focus on foods that protect nerve cells such as omega in fish and walnuts, seeds in walnuts, and antioxidants in dark berries. But more importantly, hydration, as mild dehydration reduces mental processing speed and focus noticeably. In the end, my friend, intelligence is a system and a way of life. Your IQ does not rise with quick tricks, but by committing to daily habits that build this system. That do not chase intelligence as a goal. Instead, build the systems that allow your intelligence to grow and flourish. If you want to think clearly and learn quickly, start by changing your habits, not by collecting information. If this talk changed your way of thinking, share it with someone who still thinks their intelligence is fixed. And don't stop striving for growth. See it that way.